We're
Uh,
live.
live.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey!
Oh,
Hey! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, sit on down, and get your crazy questions ready.
Grab your chairs,
How's
grab your
everybody
snacks,
doing?
water, get comfy, do all the normal things. Here for another book for Friday. Get your questions in the chat. Tonight, we have a wonderful guest. Name you can see on screen here, Chris Underwood, the rare and elusive. Thank you for joining us tonight.
the rare and elusive. Yeah, sorry I had to cancel out a couple of times.
It's all good. It's all good. What matters is you are here now. We have the Cold Winter Battle of Niagara Falls currently sitting on the screen below you. That is the book that we will be referencing tonight when we ask you questions about characters and things. Everybody who's in the chat, you should be familiar with how the show goes at this point. If you're going to ask questions that lead to spoilers, we're not going to ask them, or our author's not going to answer them. But
And let's keep the trolling questions down to a minimum.
yeah, I'm also not going to. I'll state up front. I won't ask trolling questions, so don't ask me about pineapple on pizza, or if a hot dog is a sandwich.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Most
Yes.
definitively. And
I will die on that hill. Yes.
will you die hard on that hill?
yeah.
Yes, I will. With a vengeance.
With a vengeance. Oh.
Oh yeah, I've got puns. Don't.
Oh man.
Boom. Yeah, we all know how the show goes, so let's start with book for Friday. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your current work that's on the screen and what you
All
like
right.
best about this one.
Well, The Cold Winter is a disaster fiction series. It's a 4-book series. But what you're seeing there is the 4th book of the series. It says disaster fiction about the power grid going down, and modern machinery can't be trusted, so we use vintage military equipment to fight back. So I bring a little bit of historical fiction into my dystopian future, and so in doing so, I do a lot of volunteering with historical military groups. I volunteer with a Huey helicopter group that gives rides at air shows, and I've been volunteering with them for about 3 years. And I go and help them set up their tents and do all their other things that they need to do. But I get some good time with the pilots to be able to get some good stories from them and things like that. I also volunteer with a World War II landing ship that is currently on the Ohio River in Evansville, Indiana. Been volunteering with them also for about 3 years. And it's one of the last ones that landed on the beach of Normandy, and tanks rolled out on D-Day. And it's the last one that's still running by its own power. And so I volunteer with them, and they go on tour each year. Last year we went to St. Louis up the Mississippi River with that ship, and I was aboard for a month as part of the crew. So I do some fun stuff to in my research for these books.
That is dedication. A man of history, but also maybe a little bit of foresight. I don't know if it's just, serendipitous timing or if you planned for it, but a story about, untrustworthy electronics and a power grid going down is kind of a apropos for the time of, that we currently find
Yeah,
ourselves in.
yeah, it's funny. I got into it about 17, 18 years ago when I was first. The whole prepper idea. What they have? They had the prepper TV show out there, Doomsday Preppers,
Yep, yep.
and that was a big deal. About that time ago, uh, 18 years ago, and so they were really. And it was more that they were making fun of the preppers somewhat, but it seemed like back then that they were talking a lot about the power grid. But then it kind of slowed down, and it kind of went away, and it seemed like all of our other movies were were about biological issues more than grid issues. And I don't know how that went. Um, but now it seems like lately, more things about electric cars and everything else. The grid has been back in the news again, and all those conspiracy theorists out there, they all believe that we get a warning first before something happens. So it seems like we're getting lots of warnings.
Yep, with a lot of the advents in technology, the I mean, what was it? About a decade ago, we had a warning that the grid wasn't going to be able to keep up, but that timeline has been shrinking year after year with how much technology is evolving and needing electricity these days. So,
Yeah, yeah, AI and everything else, it's all soaking it up.
indeed it is. So, make sure you we'll save the politics for in the
Yeah,
Discord, but
yeah. I really don't want to get into politics. That's not
yeah,
really the
we,
thing I
we
want to
we typically don't get into that. It's against Twitch TOS anyway.
do.
Fun fact for those of you in chat. But we'll go ahead and kick it off with our first interview question of the night. Julie, do you want to kick it off, or you want me to?
No, that's my start of you start with the questions.
Okay, you gotcha. So I'm gonna dive into post writing real quick. When you're editing, what's your most common fix? Is it grammar issues, removing filler words? Like, what do you always find is like your most common fix in edits?
It's a lot about the dialogue of making sure whether the he said stays there or not, or you just assume that you can go back and forth with the conversation and leave that out. Um, it seems to be more of surrounding dialogue, just getting the technical parts of that right. It seemed that my editor was always getting on me about that, but I'm
Yeah.
getting better with it.
Organic dialogue and making sure it's tagged correctly is important. Otherwise, it's very easy to get lost. So I totally understand.
Right, right.
But you,
Which
Julie?
is
But I
something
used,
that we battle with on Saturday nights. It's like, hey, people, dialogue tags are important. Uh,
yeah,
so
yeah. But I use a lot of dialogue.
so out of your stories, who are you trusting with your car keys? Who are you not trusting with your car keys? And who's locked in the trunk?
Who am I trusting with my car keys? Hmm. Well, in my story, there's no cars
I always
because the
have to.
grid's
I
down.
usually preface the question as assuming that there are still vehicles on the road.
I see
Okay,
a tank on that book cover. If they can drive that, they can drive a car.
Yeah, there are some tanks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
and
have
as far as
some.
I know, tanks still have keys of some sort.
Nope, no, they
So who
don't.
are we trusting with the tank keys? Who are we not trusting
Ah.
with the tank keys? And who's locked in a bunker somewhere to keep them away from everything?
Oh, well, my main character, I'm not sure if I would really trust him with very much. Uh, he's more of a you're learning his from his mistakes throughout the story, more so than him being the alpha male that gets everything right. Um, but I do have a ham radio operator guy that I would probably trust him more with anything. He's also our helicopter pilot too, so he's he's a person. He's a trustworthy person. Yes, I would put it that direction.
Okay, so who's locked in the bunker?
Who's
And, well, I can't say
Lock?
locked in the trunk because, as far as I know, tanks don't have trunks. Uh,
Probably my main character's wife.
that could be fair on a couple of levels.
I know, I know. We'll let that one go.
We'll just let that one slide. Okay, Sticks, back to you.
All right. I'm gonna kind of customize my normal question here. So, what does a soundtrack for your book series sound like? Most military we would expect, Fortunate Son and things like that. what is the? But that's all World War II, Vietnam type era. What's the soundtrack for a future dystopian robo war?
Yeah. Well, with mine, I mean, we're flying around in Huey helicopters a lot, so it would have the Fortunate Son kind of soundtrack. And actually, I am working with a producer right now to create a music video based on it's a blues song that a blues musician out of Cincinnati that I'm a real big fan of, and he has this song that's called they've been talking about the end of time since the beginning of time, and it kind of goes into all these different stuff that he has. So it would be bluesy. I think that would be bluesy. Yeah.
Makes sense. Dystopian blues works
Yes.
perfectly.
Okay. Take some kind of stealing this one from me for a minute. So
You
if
like to do
you
that? It's all good.
I do like to do that. Um, do you happen to have a ritual? Like when you're sitting down to either do writing, editing, when you go to get in the zone, do you have a particular ritual that you have to do that like indicates that okay, it's time to get down to business?
Well, I have to have music going, and I listen to a particular type of music. It's called trip hop. It's called hip hop for when you're tripping. And it's more of it's got a good it's hip hop kind of music with a lot of good beat, but without any lyrics. So it's something that allows me to really be able to think and but still have some music going on. And I'm usually and I have to be alone. I actually go to a cabin along the Ohio River and hang out for a month and do some writing. That's what I mainly do. I try to get away from everyone and everybody.
Fair. Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah. Yep. Be on my own and have my NA beer. Yeah.
Somebody in chat pointed out trance music. I would recommend that if you like trip hop.
You
You can get a
know,
lot of trance without lyrics too if you look for
yeah,
it.
trans. It's okay. That gets to be too repetitive.
That's
Just,
fair.
but yeah, I'm more of a like Dr. Dre
Gotcha.
without the lyrics.
Seems to be a running theme with our authors that lyrics are just about as taboo as Comic Sans. So we need to figure out what's going on with that. Nobody can write with listening to lyrics. Um, you mentioned your dialogue when I asked the editing question, so I guess I'll ask a question about the dialogue. When you're writing your dialogue, does it sound like how people normally talk or how you wish they talked?
I try to make it like normal talk. I've gotten some comments of some sections that were not that seemed to be clunky, but I try to get more and more realistic conversation, and I try to have that conversation uh, describe the character more. You know that without really, I don't really describe my characters as much as I do let them describe themselves with how they with what they have to say.
Yeah, show don't tell, and I think the other one is
Yeah,
when in doubt, talk it out. Most of your book should be
yeah,
dialogue.
yeah. I like to use dialogue a lot, and my story's written in third person, so I get a lot of dialogue in, and allows it to bounce around the room and out of the room.
All right,
Yes.
go for
All
it, Joe.
right. Hold that thought. I thought I saw a
Yeah,
question come up in the
yeah, that was one thing. I originally written my first book in first person, and then I got sent it to a publisher, and they sent back a really negative thing about the about writing in first person, that my first person voice was getting confused with my narrator voice and all of that. And it is difficult to write in first person and keep it realistic. And so they told me, you got to rewrite this whole thing in third person. And after sulking for a few months, then I went back and said, maybe they're right. And I think it just turned out so much better by doing it that way. It gives much more freedom, that I don't have to follow around one main character and have him see everything to be able to report about it.
That's true.
Um, so it made,
Which
made things
kind of
easier.
leads into my next question. What kind of narrator do you have? Or is it like a fast action reporter? Is it, somebody that's like, ooh, something shiny? That's
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, I use it more for the action and things along that line. Um, I mean, in the past, in that first version, I was using the narrator to be the conspiracy theory voice, and that was not. It wasn't as working out as well, and so that's why I created my ham radio operator, and he became the conspiracy theory voice that would come in on the radio and tell him what what the conspiracy spin of the news was, and that really worked out very well to be able to do that. And then the crazy thing is that he's become my one of my main characters now, and as the series went on.
I kid you not, I had that question highlighted, but I can change it to my other popular question. I had my next question highlighted, which character was supposed to be a throwaway or side character, but ended up stealing the story. So,
Yeah,
uh,
he did.
but I'll
He
pivot
certainly
to my
did.
other popular go to. And which character? Tell us about the time a character took the hardest left turn on you. Thought you saw where the story was going, and all of a sudden the character was like, "We're going this way now."
Yeah, yeah, that was my main character, and so I had some fun with him. I torture him throughout the whole series. He right from the start, like the power goes out, and I try to show people that there's going to be a lot of people who are taking drugs or taking medications that they're not going to have them anymore, and they're going to be going through withdrawals. I mean, people on antidepressants, things like that, and so I have my main character on antidepressants and going through a withdrawal of that, and yeah, I just kind of it allowed me to have him, go a little crazy, and so it was so yeah, he went sideways pretty quick, and that was fun, and gives a nice twist towards the end. So of the first book of the series.
Some
So
of
it,
those
and
can be
that twist
lethal.
had a lot of fun.
Some
What's
of those
that?
with some of, depending on your dosage and what antidepressants you're on and how long you've been on them, like cold turkey on those can actually be a lethal withdrawal.
Yes, it can be, and I'm try to bring out that point in the story.
okay. We got a question from chat. Do you hear your characters?
Absolutely, yeah. I have a distinct voice characteristics for some that I can hear. Yeah, I have conversations with them. Yeah, when I go and live in that cabin, we have conversations.
And in this group, that is not uncommon. I have literally sat here and said that I've had an argument with my character. There will not be that story that week. Uh,
But some are based on real people too that I know, and that's I changed the names, and like there was an occasion where one of the guys is in my faith group at church, and so one morning my wife and I are going to church. We're like, where are we going to sit? And I was like, oh, let's go up and sit next to Ed up there. And she says, like, Ed who? I'm like, oh, that's what I call him in the book. Yeah, we go sit by Rob. But that was kind of the thing, when I'm writing, I don't see him as I see that person as how I've built him in the book.
I guess that defeats the purpose of asking who you would have a beer or an NA beer with of one of your characters, since you can actually have them with some of them. So
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I brought out some of my old college buddies and things like that too. So that's been kind of neat. And I got to kill one of them, so that was kind of cool too.
This is for everybody. That this is for um, written. This is for artistic. Sticks usually does a proclaim right after that, so it's like
disclaimer: for legal reasons, Hold My Pen Promptcast does not condone the murder of your friends, except for in fiction on a page. Remember, ladies and
and
yes,
gentlemen.
only if they really
only.
deserve.
I guess that leads me to I'll go. Wait, no, wait. I just asked that. So, Julie, you're up.
I was about to say it's my turn.
I cut you off.
Um.
You know.
Uh. What is the one thing that you wish you could write, but it's not in your wheelhouse?
Oh, probably romance. I don't think I could do it, but it would be fun. Maybe I should try it sometime.
I mean,
But
we have prompts every week if you want to stretch your muscles. Just a plug.
I've been reading a series. It's very. I mean, it would parallel very easily to what we have on screen here. It's very similar setting. It's just not um, rogue AI and rogue tech, but they or like giant mechs.
oh, okay,
So, I mean, romance can be whatever you want it to be. It's surprisingly versatile.
that's what I have heard. And yeah, there's lots of different subgenres between of it, and romance, mystery, romance that can get into and into more into my wheelhouse, I guess. But yeah, yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not the friend whose, for clarification, character died. Maybe not that one, but or it could be. I guess my question is, who's a character death that you wrote that you would bring out of all of them? Who would you bring back just for the chance to kill him again?
Uh, oh man. Yeah, I had fun. There was a traitor within the story, and yeah, he was fun to kill. Yeah, it would be good to kill again. Yes, yeah,
Yep, no spoilers, so we don't need to know the
yeah,
names.
yeah, and it was kind of fun doing having kind of creating a traitor character. Um, but that yes, yeah, yeah, that would be fun to go through that again. I probably will probably create another traitor just so that I can have that experience again.
I mean, traders are the easier ones to deal with. So I mean, like, I'm with you on that one.
Hmm.
In your
Uh,
world setting, you could make him a traitor, and then he'd be a traitorous traitor. Enjoy
but
that
I'm
wordplay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Julie.
um okay, question from chat from Documancer. Who is the drama in your
Ense-
ensemble
Ensemble of
ensemble of
characters.
characters?
The drama. Who's dramatic?
Yeah,
Who's very
who's the drama?
very dramatic
Who's the
person?
one
Either
that's like, the world's on fire, the world's on fire, the sky is falling.
yeah, your
Who is
Chicken
that
Little.
character? Who's your chicken
Yeah,
little?
yeah. I had well, so my character,
Drama
similar to
queen.
myself, he has a daughter that's 16, and she gets very dramatic about everything. That yeah, yeah, the world is coming to an end, and it's really messing up her life, her teenage years. But then eventually I bring her into the fold, and she becomes more serious about it and getting involved in the little hospital that we have built, and and it was really bizarre that we had to do. I got into doing a medical procedure, and she was a major part of that piece, where we actually had to do like a tonsillectomy of someone. Actually, do some work, and I actually talked to a physician about how are we going to do this without electricity. How would we actually do this operation? And he got down to the details of, you got to have some suction, so you got to, maybe you can use a shop vac on, all this sort of thing about how to do a medical procedure without the electricity.
I hope that's not one of the things you researched firsthand.
No, I sat and talked with this ear, neck, and throat doctor, and got out the details and worked it all out. And it was really neat, really a neat procedure. It was fun to get done.
A 16-year-old girl being dramatic. I thought you. So this is definitely fiction then, right? Because we've never heard of that before.
That's right. That would never happen. That
Exactly.
would never happen.
Um. So if you were a character in someone else's book, what would your character flaw be?
Hmm. Not taking things seriously enough. Not seeing the scene, not seeing the emergency as being as big as it actually is.
Too
That'd be
laissez-faire, huh?
probably it. Catch me off guard.
All right, we do have ads coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick side note, and definitely a plug for consumerism. Subs don't get ads. And if you are a Amazon Prime member, you get a free subscription every month with your account as long as your Twitch account is connected to that Amazon Prime. So if you have that Prime sub, feel free to drop it here. Then you get to see the shenanigans that we have running while the ads are up. Go ahead, Julie.
Ah,
Absolutely. Um, so if you had to drop your characters on a desert island, Survivor style, well, something between Survivor and Naked and Afraid, who's making it out and who's calling in for backup?
oh man. Yeah, my main character is probably calling for backup. But again, my ham radio operator is probably climbing a tree and finding resources and and making it happen. Maybe even building a fort for everybody else. Yeah,
Like, here,
yeah.
I'm not going to let you guys die. He's an idiot, but we're not going to let you die.
That's right. Yeah, 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 yeah. My main character would probably have trouble with that, but he gets somehow manages to get through. Trying to make him an everyday guy.
The fact that he's made it through 4 books and
Yeah.
has not found a way to the bottom of the well like Timmy is kind of surprising. I'm going to have to pick these up and find out how. Uh, all right, stakes back to you.
Yep. Um, so I have to use heavy quotations on this, but so if you could steal the writing style of any dead author for one day, who would it be?
Mm. Oh, probably Clive Cussler.
There's a name I know.
I like him a lot. Or Ian Fleming. I like him a lot too. Those are dead ones, but now, and I read a lot of Hemingway, but his style is uh, so different. I'm not sure I could work with it. I don't know if I could make it if I can make it work with what I do.
Surprised
But I
you
do.
didn't hear say. Part of me expected you to say Clancy.
Uh, he gets much more technical than I do, but it would be nice to have that technical aspect. People seem to like that a lot, but my I don't get as technical as he does, and I don't know. I don't really care to dissect a bomb or a plane and take it all apart while it's flying. Um, I guess I'm not into that as much as a lot of other readers are.
Definitely reads like a technical manual sometimes. Won't deny that.
Yeah.
Go for it,
It's like,
Julie.
look, we do not need the manual to diffuse this. We do not need to add extra drama. We've got enough. Uh, okay. Um, Next question. Who is the one person you would want to get your stuff in front of? But
Wow.
aside from the big five, aside from everything, who is that one person that if you got your book in front of it, it's like I did my job, I made it. Who is that made it person?
Oh man, like Lee Childs, that'd be cool. And I'm actually kind of getting that dream right now with the Clive Cussler uh, Collectors Society. They have a contest, and all of the current Clive Cussler writers are, they read through and select the books for the contest. And so I've got my latest book in front of them right now for their contest, and I'll be finding out, wow, probably in like 3 or 4 weeks where I stand with that group. So that's kind of something I'm actually getting to happen.
That's
'Cause That,
excellent.
that would be, that's a key thing for me. It was, I was a huge, Clive Cussler fan, and he has passed, but they have there's probably like 4 or 5 authors that are now carrying the torch of his different books, of his different series. So it's pretty neat to meet them. Also, I went to the last convention meeting. That was last year. It was really cool stuff.
Didn't realize they had conventions for that. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. It was in Charleston, South Carolina, where the USS Hundley uh, had been pulled up. It was the first submarine. It was used in the Civil War. That they found it and preserved it, and Clive Cussler was uh, was one of the persons who funded the search for it
Oh,
and helped to find it.
all kinds of history today.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of how I follow the trail of Clive Cussler, is using vintage ships in the story and all that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, we're talking about ships, so let's keep it slightly nautical for this next one. Um, Wait, I just asked again.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. My pacing is all off because I'm not used to one author.
I know we're go ahead though. You
Nope,
you you go and then I'll ask too.
nope,
You're
you
fine.
got it. Go for it.
No, go.
Okay,
I have to
fine,
reshuffle my questions. Go.
fine. All right. Uh, what is your white whale concept? The story that you have tried to write, but it just never worked out.
Oh man. Well, it's a nautical kind of story. I was so enthralled with the old Travis McGee books you know the sailor, the guy in the sailboat that solves mysteries and all of that, and so I've tried to write that, and I've failed miserably, and I do want to try it again, but that's the kind of the one thing I would like to do.
All right. I'm gonna pass it to Julie before I forget.
before you do again?
Yep, I've already got
Okay.
my next one lined up, so I'm just gonna shut up.
Yeah, gotcha. Um, what is your favorite thing about going to conventions and signings and all of that? What is your absolute favorite part of it?
Well, the different things with the conventions, it's more about networking and getting ideas for that I'm doing for marketing and all of that. I mean, some conventions can give you some actual writing technique uh, ideas, but most of them, it's hit or miss with that. I mean, I did go to a really good one today. I'm at the Killer Nashville Mystery Writers Convention right now, um, and I just so I went to one of the classes there about how to do how in military, what all the different uh, lieutenant and
Different
major and
ranks, officer
what all the
ranks.
ranks are. Yeah,
Yeah,
what all the ranks are, and it's different for the Navy than it is for the Army, and all of this stuff. And so it was cool to see all that laid out, and because I'm always getting into that with my military writing, and you can't get that stuff wrong. You lose all the military folks. So yeah, so learning that is more of a learning thing. But when I'm actually going out to a signing, it's it's all about meeting the readers and also getting as many books into people's hands. And I've become a real serious about that. That going to these regular book signings at a library or whatever, those don't get it for me anymore. Just because there's too much competition there, you're not going to be really selling that many books. So I like going to craft shows, and I even go to car shows and go to anything where I'm basically the only writer there, and the readers find me, and and so that one is those are really good. I mean, I went to a street fair last weekend in Mount Vernon, Ohio. I sold 150 books, and that's so I was really excited about being able to do that and being able to talk to as many people as possible and all cold sales and that's what I'm really pushing more towards now is getting into just finding a niche that I can get in front of as many people as possible.
seems counterintuitive going to non-book events, but I mean, if it's working for you, by all.
Oh
I've
yeah,
actually
yeah.
I've actually heard that from a lot of people, especially, for our group and for what everybody writes, that is actually the best thing. They're like, "Go to a Comic-Con," and I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "You'll understand."
Oh yeah, I've done multiple Comic Cons and Pokemon cons and anime cons, and it's amazing. People are coming in there and they spend a while. They're not just there just to bounce through like a craft show. They're there to spend time. They're wanting to see everybody that's dressed up, and most of them are dressed up, and they spent money to get there, so they're going to stay for a bit, and they're willing to spend money too. That's the other thing. They brought money to spend, and they'll give you the time to at least pitch your story and see if it works for them. And that's the other key to it is having a good pitch.
Yeah, for sure. Got to be able to handle face-to-face conversation, not just on a page.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And and a lot of authors are not into that. I guess I'm different in that I'm I'm not shy, and I'm not and I'm used to the marketplace like that. Previously I did a lot of woodworking. I refinished antique furniture and things like that. So I would go to these antique markets and flea markets to sell my stuff, and it was great just to be able to talk to everybody about it and see someone buy something that I'd worked on for a while in my garage, and that was really a neat thing to do, making that sale. And so now I'm able to use that knowledge experience to sell books at craft shows and things like that.
Bad news for you,
Okay.
chat. For all of our Hold My Pen regulars, you heard it here. You still have to people as an author.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm finding lots of, I go to military bases. My books are somewhat military. I actually sell them in the PX store, the military base, you know, and the Comic Cons and survivalist camps, survivalist festivals, all those kinds of things too. Lots of
So
stuff out there. If you want to look for it, it can be found.
yeah, find something that fits your passions that you can go and market your book at, so that it's not just peopling. It's also it's an excuse to go do something that you enjoy. But we're talking about
Yeah.
chat. We have some questions piling up in chat. We'll catch up on
Ah,
those real quick. Um, Bitzer asks, how many rewrites do you go through before publishing?
oh man. Well, the way that have found in the past like two or three books is that I think I know where the story is going when I get into it, and I get to about like the fourth chapter, and then I see no, it's not going where I think it's going to go, and then I got to go back and rewrite the first chapter because now I know where it's going, and you have to rewrite all of that. So by like the fifth or sixth chapter, I have a really good idea where it's going, or at least a partial one, and and then and then I can really start rolling. But yeah, I rewrite those first few chapters many times um, before it really gets rolling. And even with the last one, once my editor got involved, then he started telling me, "Oh, you need to develop this other character. You need to develop this storyline more." And he even got to the point where I added two new chapters because of his suggestions, and so that has some work there as well.
Julie, you got the next chat question?
Hey, I got the next chat question. Documancer, what do you hope readers will get out of your writing?
Hmm. Hmm. And some of my prepper hints. I try to get some of that in there. Uh, and it's been funny that I've gotten my books to like readers clubs, these book clubs, and they're not reading my kind of stuff normally. But then when I go and I'll talk to them after they've read it, then they'll say, I've got some things in my basement now after reading this book. I got some canned goods set aside, and made me think a little bit more about that. Um, so yeah, I hope of that. And then also, I have a little bit of faith in my stories too. So I don't know, maybe yeah help them to see things a little bit differently that way. Um, but I guess those are my main two things, and also the history of the ships that I'm getting into. That they might have an interest in researching those ships or actually going and touring them because of reading my story.
History, doomsday prep. That's the opposite of peopling. So there you go, guys. We balanced it out. It, I think we're caught up on chat questions for now, but keep them coming, guys. We're coming up to the end here. Um, I have a question that I've been trying to ask multiple shows, and for some reason it's the one that always eludes me. So I'm definitely gonna get it out of my brain this time. So your series, Cold Winter, is transitioning to the screen, whether that's TV show or movie. Who are you casting for your main character?
Oh man, ah, he would be kind of like a Matt Damon. Would be my main character, and oh man, my ham radio operator. Hmm. Oh, who is the guy? Oh, the bad guy in the Marvel movies.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name. He played
They
Thanos.
played Thanos. Yeah.
Yeah. Chat, you guys know this. I can't look it up right now.
Him. He would be who I think of for that. And I don't know. And he has a sidekick too. It would probably be the guy who plays Reacher. Uh,
Oh, the new one? That guy's
yeah, the new Reacher.
huge.
Yeah, yeah. That's his sidekick. That's his co-pilot in the helicopter.
Josh Brolin, there's the name of the guy.
Josh Brolin. Yeah.
The guy who plays the new Reacher is massive. I don't know if the helicopter could get off the ground with him in it.
No.
It got off
And he
the
would have
ground with Batista. It should be fine.
This
to.
guy is more like a Brock Lesnar. He's massive.
Yeah, and he would need
It's
to grow a
fine.
beard to be my character. But yeah.
All right, we are within our last 10 minutes. You want to get your last one in, Julie?
Yeah. Cat just knocking stuff off. So what is something that you hope people um remember about everything that you do in your process? Like, what is the one key thing you wish people took away from the actual writing experience?
Hmm. I guess some of it is the history that I'm throwing out there. I think that's something that people haven't really uh, don't get enough of. But also, concerns about the grid. Be able to walk away with some knowledge of some preparedness. And also, I mean, preparedness is more than just having some canned goods in the basement. It's also preparing your mind so that you wouldn't freak out when something really bad happens.
And your
Uh,
body. Got to be in decent shape.
yeah, yes, yeah. Having your body prepared as well. Yeah, having it has been funny that I go to a lot of these survivalist festivals, and I'll see people walking around that I know. If something happens, they're going to be one of the first ones to go. They're just yeah. It's all
Like,
about
these are the
yeah,
people we're tripping in the zombie apocalypse.
yes,
Oh.
yeah.
I know I
Yeah,
would
it's
be
one of those ones
screwed.
where if there's a bear chasing us, I don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you.
I'm climbing a tree.
That's what the 9 mil is for. Everyone's like, how are you gonna stop a bear with a 9 mil? I'm not gonna shoot it at the bear.
Oh man.
In the video game, everybody. We're talking about video games right now. By the way, Hold My Pen Promptcast does not condone
Knocking people
Oh
over in a
man.
zombie
using
apocalypse.
people for bait in a bear attack outside of video games. That brings us to our closing. This is your chance to plug whatever you want to plug, advertise. Tell the people where they can find you. Not your links are on screen, but any events you got coming up, signings, conventions, fairs, things like that, and when your next work in progress, if you have an ETA on that.
All right. Well, coming up, I have a ton of things coming up. Like Labor Day weekend, I'm going to be at the Indiana Military Museum for their World War II reenactment festival. I'll be there signing books at that. And then in the middle of September, I'm going to be pushing off on the LST 325, which is the ship of my story with that landing ship. We're actually going to start our tour with the ship. We're going to go down the Cumberland River to Nashville with the ship. I'll be living aboard for a month. And we're going to stop at Hendersonville and Ashland City and Clarksville, Tennessee. And I'll be selling my books aboard the ship, and 60% of the profit goes to the ship. Last year, when when I was aboard, I was able to donate $8,000 from my book sales to this ship,
That
which
is
was really
excellent.
cool. And really cool stuff. My goal this year is 10,000. Last year I sold 1,400 books during those 3 weekends of sales. And with the new book out, with 4 books of the series, I'm hoping to outdo that number. So that's my main things coming up. Yeah, those are my big things coming up. And I'm here at the Killer Nashville Mystery Writers, and the 4th book, which is on the screen, I suppose,
Yep.
Right below you.
is a finalist for an award that I'll be finding out tomorrow night if I win or not. And I'm finalist in the category. There's only 2 other people that were finalists, so there's 3 of us, and my odds are pretty good. And I kind of figure that I already won the bronze, so I figure it that way. And but it'd be cool. It'd be cool if my name is called.
We wish you
Oh
luck on
yeah,
that
absolutely.
and on your the Clive Cussler group. You were talking about the getting,
Yeah, yeah,
hearing back on that. We wish you luck in those endeavors and on meeting your goal of $10,000 donated.
yeah,
But
yeah. That is the goal.
that is gonna take us to the end tonight. Once again, thank you so much for being here, Chris. You've been an excellent, excellent guest. We learned a lot tonight. I definitely have a lot of history that I wasn't expecting, but in a good way. Julie, you want to
Good, good.
hit them with the outro?
Yes. Thank you so much, Chris, for being here. Again, people, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, or 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Adjust your times accordingly for the Hold My Pen Promptcast. Well, we will be reading this week's prompt that I don't have on the screen right now, so we're just gonna have to go with it. If you're not part of the Discord, why the fuck not? We're a hoot off screen. Technically, we're still on screen. We're just not here. If you're not part of the newsletter, again, why not? We don't spam you, and you get it once a week, and you find out who our lovely person in the hot seat is eventually going to be. So, with that being said, don't add to the population, don't subtract from the population. If you get your ass fucking arrested, don't call me unless you got a funny story and I can use it later. Otherwise, be brave, be bold, always stay humble. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bye.
Bye, everybody.